Rookie mini camps are underway, and we're starting to get a better idea of how some of these first-year players are going to impact their respective teams' depth charts. It may seem like the beginning of the season is a long way away, but the schedule release is already coming out, and don't forget that there are tons of best ball tournaments we can be taking part of anytime between now and September. That's why this is a great time to break down some rookies we need to be keeping an eye on throughout the summer. These are my 4 favorite rookies for redraft leagues. Starting with Arizona Cardinals running back Trey Benson.
Benson goes north-south. Benson takes it to the house.
Following a short stint with the Oregon Ducks, Benson entered the transfer portal and played 2 seasons as a starter at Florida State. Over those 2 years, he accrued over 2,100 total yards, thanks in large part to a huge amount of breakaway runs. According to PFF's numbers, Benson ranked 4th among all draft-eligible running backs in breakaway percentage, a metric that measures the rate at which a rush goes for 15 or more yards. At the NFL Combine, Benson ran a blistering 4.39 40-yard dash at 219 pounds, giving him the second highest speed score in this draft class. This shined through on film as he was consistently a home run threat, a quality that should translate well to NFL fields. Benson figures to have a role in this offense from week 1 and has the ability to spell Connor at any point of the game at any area of the field. Connor isn't necessarily known for his pass-catching prowess, but the team has eased him out of the third down role as the tread on his tires has begun to fade. Last year, Connor ran the least amount of routes since his injury-laden 2019 season with the Steelers and was tasked as a pass blogger at the lowest rate since that same 2019 season. As with many rookie running backs, Benson has some hiccups in the passing game, including some work to be done in pass protection, but the team will likely look to get him involved early, even if it's just basic screen and swing passes to get the ball in his hands close to the perimeter of the field. Barring some sort of injury, bad luck, the majority of this depth chart should have a very difficult time seeing the field in 2024, and half those guys will probably be cut by the time the preseason ends anyway. That puts our focus on Connor and Benson, who make a great real-life pairing and one we should target if the price is right. The rookie should be part of season-long drafts, but we may need to exercise some patience and wait for the ever-present post-buy rookie bump that we have seen as an annual occurrence. Benson is coming off of underdog best ball draft boards as the RB29 in the middle of the 9th round. While that's a little rich for me, he should be a target for patient drafters once we get into the double-digit rounds. Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr.
And going down the sideline, caught by Brian Thomas Jr., and he will take it to the house.
Following the footsteps of Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, Thomas became the most recent LSU Tiger to be taken in the first round of the NFL draft. With Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Jayden Daniels at the helm, the receiver finished 2023 with 1,177 yards and 17 touchdowns. 9 of these touchdowns came at least 25 air yards down the field. No other receiver in this draft class had more than 6 such catches. We can look forward to more of that usage at the NFL level as the Jaguars have lost both Calvin Ridley and Zay Jones. On top of becoming Trevor Lawrence's new deep ball target, Brian Thomas could also see a ton of work around the goal line. Ridley and Jones accounted for 56.3% of the team's targets from within the opponent's 10-yard line, the highest vacated mark in the league. Thomas should slide immediately into the X role in this new-look Jaguars pass-catching group and be on the field for nearly 100% of the snaps. That's something that can't be said of fellow rookie Rome Odunze, who's coming off draft board's 20 picks before Thomas. If this is the case, Thomas will slide into a role in which Ridley ran the 5th most routes in the NFL, accounting for 132 targets. There is some target competition in town, but we shouldn't be surprised if the rookie finishes 2nd on the team behind Christian Kirk. Brian Thomas Jr. is a great running mate for Trevor Lawrence and should be targeted for as long as his draft capital remains at a wide receiver 4 price. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Xavier Worthy
Steps up, delivers for Worthy. Touchdown, Texas!
At the back end of the first round, the Chiefs moved up 4 spots to ensure they attached the speedster to quarterback Patrick Mahomes. With a suspension looming for Rashee Rice, this feels vaguely reminiscent of the time they grabbed Mecole Hardman when Tyreek Hill was having his own off-the-field issues. Worthy should offer much more than Hardman did in fantasy and will make a great real-life pairing with Rice when he gets back to action. Worthy exploded onto the scene as a freshman, racking up 12 touchdowns and 8.5 yards after the catch per reception, while operating mainly from the outside. As you can surmise from his 3 straight 100 target seasons, Worthy was more than just fluff on the field. He led the team in receiving yards over each of those 3 seasons, maxing out at 1,014 yards in 2023 when he was targeted 9 or more times in 7 of 14 games. Though he was used extensively in the screen game, he still had a respectable 10.3 average depth of target thanks to consistent usage in the deep game. Where Worthy struggles with his 5'11", 165-pound frame likely doesn't come as a surprise. Over the middle, in uncontested catches. Per PFF, he converted only 5 of his 21 contested catches, and according to Sports Info Solutions, he only averaged 7 yards per target over the middle in 2023, ranking 121st out of 167 qualifying wide receivers. There's a reason some people view Xavier Worthy as a one-trick pony, but his college numbers show a very productive receiver if he lands in a situation where the play caller can use him in interesting ways. And he just so happened to fall in that situation at the next level. Immediate comps to Tyreek Hill are mostly unfounded, but that doesn't mean Worthy can't create separation in much the same way. Some more apt comps from across the prospecting industry include Jordan Addison, Marquise Brown, and Deshaun Jackson. Not a bad group of players, and certainly a few options you can imagine winning inside an Andy Reid offense. As a matter of fact, Jackson kicked off his career with 3 straight 900-yard seasons under Reid, including a 1,056-yard season in which he got there on only 47 catches. Xavier Worthy finds himself in a fantastic offensive environment, and though he may have some duds along the way, his upside in Andy Reid offense lands him in the same fantasy range as Marquise Brown and Rashee Rice. Washington Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels.
Daniels now starts to run. Runs right past one, splits 2 more, gets the sideline. Jayden Daniels is something special, and he dances his way to a gain of 38.
After years of cycling through middle-of-the-road veteran fantasy options, the Commanders used their second overall selection to grab Daniels. A dynamic rusher with a huge arm, Daniels provides an upgrade for incumbents Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson. Daniels' mix of playmaking ability with both his legs and arm makes him an intriguing fantasy piece in his rookie year and beyond. Over his 2 years at LSU, Daniels led all FBS quarterbacks in rushing twice, threw for 57 touchdowns to only 7 interceptions, and received a slew of awards, namely the Heisman Trophy in 2023. Daniels consistently tested defenses down the field and with his legs, accounting for 90 plays of 20-plus yards last season, while leading draft-eligible quarterbacks with a 69.1% adjusted completion percentage on passes that went 20 or more yards down the field. When Daniels was asked to create independently, he was more than capable. He accrued 512 yards and 6 touchdowns on quarterback draws and QB-designed runs, but the dagger came when he could escape the pocket on passing plays. That was never more evident than in LSU's matchup against a stout Alabama defense last season when he ran for 163 yards and 6 first downs. Being given the keys to the car right off the bat won't always yield a lot of fantasy success. Take a look at Bryce Young's rookie season last year, but the Commanders have a fairly good infrastructure to invite Daniels into, unlike what the Panthers had last season. Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson make for a legitimate 2 wide receiver set, Zach Ertz and rookie Ben Sinnott combining as a perfectly capable tight end duo. Fellow rookie Luke McCaffrey should grow into a nice slot option, while Austin Eckler will look to bounce back into one of the best pass-catching backs in the league after an injury-laden 2023. The Commanders were one of the best landing spots among the quarterback-needy teams, and Jayden Daniels has a nice infrastructure of those pass catchers, as well as an improving offensive line. Daniels has some work to do at the next level, including working through his reads and sliding from time to time, but it shouldn't take long for him to be putting up crooked numbers in the fantasy box score. Fantasy managers are understandably trepidatious about rookie rushing quarterbacks after Anthony Richardson only played 4 games last season. But Daniels is currently coming out of draft boards as the QB 14 in the 9th or 10th round. That's a perfectly reasonable price to pay for his upside.